Namaskar. I welcome you all to the digital media of Uday India and what India thinks in this issue. Today I am going to speak about whether America is really poised to end the dominance of Chinese products in its markets. Friends, the United States has been increasingly concerned about the dominance of Chinese products in its markets. And in recent years, China has become the world's leading exporter and its products can be found in nearly every American stores. This has led to concerns about job losses in the United States as well as the security of the US supply chain. In response to these concerns, the US government has taken a number of steps to reduce its reliance on Chinese goods. This includes tariffs on Chinese imports, investment restrictions, and the creation of a new supply chain resilience office. The Trump administration was particularly aggressive in its efforts to decouple the US and Chinese economies. However, the Biden administration has taken more measured approach. While it has continued to impose tariffs on Chinese goods, it has also sought to work with China on issues such as climate change and nuclear non-proliferation. It is too early to say whether the US will be able to end the dominance of Chinese products in its markets. However, the Biden administration's sanctions suggest very clearly that it is committed to reduce the US reliance on China. What is de-risking? I want to explain here what is de-risking. Friends, de-risking is the practice of reducing exposure to risk. In this context of the United States and China, de-risking refers to the efforts of US government and business to reduce their reliance on China. And this can be done by diversifying supply chains, investing in alternative technologies, and imposing sanctions on Chinese companies. The US government has been increasingly concerned about China's growing economic and military power. The Trump administration took particularly aggressive approach to de-risking, imposing tariffs on Chinese goods and restricting investment in Chinese companies. The Biden administration has taken more measured approach, but it has also continued to impose tariffs and sanctions on China. Friends, de-risking has a number of potential benefits for US. It can reduce US vulnerability to Chinese economic coercion, protect American jobs and promote innovation. However, de-risking can also have some negative consequences and it can make it more expensive for business to operate and it can lead to higher prices for consumers. The ultimate impact of de-risking on the US-China relationship is really uncertain. We can't say so, what will happen. But it is possible that de-risking could lead to a more stable and confrontational relationship between two countries. However, it is also possible that de-risking could lead to escalation of tensions and a new Cold War. How can de-risking benefits India? That also you people must know. Friends, de-risking can benefit India in a number of ways. First is, it can help to reduce the amount of money laundering and terrorism financing that takes place in the country. And this is because banks that are more hesitant to do business in India are less likely to be used by criminals to launder money or finance terrorism. Secondly, de-risking can force Indian banks to become more efficient and more transparent. And in order to comply with the strict regulations that are often imposed on banks that operate in high risk markets, Indian banks will need to improve their internal controls and reporting practices. And this will make them less vulnerable to fraud and other financial crimes. Thirdly, de-risking can also help to improve India's image as an investment destination. And foreign investors are often wary of investing in countries that are seen as being high risk. By reducing the amount of risk associated with doing business in India, de-risking can make the country more attractive to the foreign investors. And overall, I must tell you that de-risking can have a number of positive benefits for India. However, it is very important to note here that de-risking can also have some negative consequences. Now, for example, it can make more difficult for small businesses to get loans and can lead to higher fees for consumers. And ultimately, the impact of de-risking on India will depend on how the country responds to the challenges it poses. This is more important. Friends, we hope that this concept of de-risking in India and China and US relations, and in coming days we are going to focus more light on the de-risking and the factors, how it has impacts. That's all for today. Stay tuned with Uday India. Bharat Mata ki Jai.